And that is gravity in a nutshell. Buongiorno, buon pomeriggio, and buonasera, my fantastic, lovely patrons. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic and amazing day. Yes, I know, guys. I know. This is yesterday news, and as always, the Italian is late at the party.
What a surprise!
No surprises there. Anyway, this is something, this occurrence, what happened, it's something that I like to call Pram-gate, paranormal or real. In the past week, there was indeed a lot of discussion going on in regards of this event captured by none other than the Luigi brothers. And of course, being an Italian, I need to be an S in saying their name. But anyway, jokes aside, the Ouija brothers, Ste and Griff. It got my attention, honestly, as everybody else's. I decided first to watch their live stream, seeing the exact moment when they captured the pram falling down the stairs, and being the old skeptical bastard that I am, I immediately excluded the possibility of the paranormal.
What did you say, punk?
I know, guys, before you take your pitchforks and torches and come towards my house in order to execute me.
Let's get him, fellas.
I will explain why I think the way I think later and where my beliefs are based. Anyway, being a scientific oriented person that I am, the first video I've watched after that was Mr. Gray's, where he analyzed this phenomena with a skeptical and scientific eye, and he speculated that the pram was way too close to the edge and the rest was just gravity doing its thing. And in this matter, people, I do agree with him. So another thing that I thought it was like vibration, where the actual starting force allowing the pram to fall down the stairs and gravity do its thing. For a moment I thought that somehow the cable of the, I think is an EMF sort of device, I'm not really sure, was playing a part in it. No, I was not thinking that the Ouija brothers were pulling that cable from the bottom of the stairs, okay? Like other people claimed or other people implied. Reasons for this are, I think that Ste and Griff are indeed legit and they're just trying to find the truth. So I exclude almost immediately the possibility of fakery and tomfoolery when it comes to them. And B, the cable moves only when the pram hits the first step, so it's safe to assume that the pram is the thing hitting the cable, so it got a little bit loosened. And it's also safe to conclude that this movement of the cable is a consequence rather than the actual culprit. That was my way of reasoning. In any case, my mind was already fixed in trying to understand what was going on, how this event occurred, what possibility there were for the pram to allow itself to move. I watched Beardo's video on the matter, I watched Mythos's video on the matter, just in order to have like an exchange of opinion and see what they were thinking and if there were some similarities in what I was thinking and what also Mr. Gray was thinking.
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck was that?
I'm sorry, man. No, I wasn't thinking about it.
To be fair, guys, I was waiting for one person to analyze the whole thing. The man, the myth, the legend, Candy Beetle. He arrived and he dropped his video explaining, okay, and suggesting different hypotheses and possibilities on how the whole thing happened. I need to be fair with you, and two things he said got my attention. The first one, well, when he said almost at the beginning that the experiment was deemed to fail, and judging by the position of the pram, I do agree with him. Way too close to the edge, as Dundalf suggested as well. And Dundalf, during his video, also suggested that they should have placed the pram closer to the clock, witnessing a flying pram, like flying across the stairs from the position of the clock to the end of the stairs. Now that would have been something interesting and unexplained, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Just to clarify, I don't think that Kenny said this to imply that the Ouija brothers used some trickery or anything, and they set themselves the experiment to fail so they can capture anything, and neither do I. But I do agree, the experiment was deemed to fail, as he put it. The second thing that Kenny showed involves vibrations, okay? And to be specific, micro vibration. Honestly, I believe that in this moment, for at the time of the recording of this video, Kenny provided the most accurate and logical explanation of the phenomena we have witnessed. In any case, most of you are asking, how can you be so sure that in this case the paranormal is not involved? Well, because of this. Here, 8 years ago roughly, Dr. Valerio Rossi Albertini, an Italian physicist, somebody who collaborated and worked at CERN at some point in his career, as far as I understood, was interviewed by La Vita in Diretta. It is one of those talk shows, and he gave an explanation in regards on why ghosts cannot exist, at least in the physical world. But let's have a look.
Certo, caro signor scienziato, diciamo che la scienza non è in grado di dimostrare l'esistenza dei fantasmi.
Allora, molto interessante il servizio, ma forse è il caso di spiegare in maniera un po' più semplice qual è la questione. E quello che sostengono i fisici del Centro Europeo di Ricerca Nucleare, il CERN di Ginevra, che è probabilmente la più grande struttura che esista al mondo di ricerca, è che se qualcosa simile ad un fantasma esiste, non è un'entità fisica, cioè è un miracolo, è un'entità trascendente, superiore, esoterica, ma non può avere una natura fisica.
Wait, big rounded face fella. Yes, I notice now that your face is pretty round. Let me chime in for a second and drop some explanation here and there, okay? Dr. Albertini here is referring to a statement made by Brian Cox back in 2017, a physicist who absolutely destroyed the whole concept of spooky spirits with actual science. And not just any science, we're talking about the Large Hadron Collider and the laws of thermodynamics, the second law to be precise. Fancy stuff. Albertini is just summarizing the whole concept, but let's try to give a quick rundown on this statement itself, shall we? First, let's talk about the second law of thermodynamics. Albertini makes the same example in the video. Imagine you have a hot cup of coffee. Does it ever get hotter by itself? No. It always gets colder until it reaches room temperature. That's because energy always moves from hot to cold, and things naturally get more disorganized over time. It's like your bedroom, if you will. It doesn't magically clean itself up. It only gets messier unless you put energy into cleaning it. Now, here's where ghosts run into trouble. If they existed, they'd need to maintain their human shape and somehow interact with our world. You know, walking through walls, making spooky noises, moving your keys just to mess with you, or making prams falling down the stairs. But maintaining any organized form requires energy, and a lot of it. As Cox points out, ghosts would need to constantly fight against the universe's natural tendency towards disorder. They'd need an energy source to maintain their form, but where would that energy come from? The ghost power bank? The spectral energy grid? But wait, it gets better. Cox also mentions that the Large Hadron Collider, this massive particle detector that can spot the tiniest bits of matter and energy, has never detected anything that could be a ghost. And trust me, if there were transparent floating entities made of some mysterious energy hanging around, this bad boy would have spotted them by now. Remember, the universe follows rules, and those rules say that ghosts should either dissolve into disorder like that cup of coffee getting cold, or show up on our fancy scientific instruments. Since neither happens, well, I'll let you draw your own conclusion about your friendly neighborhood spirit. And now, back to you, rounded face fella. Come on, my face is not that round. Listen, I'm not saying that your face is fat, but man, you're starting to look like Dragon Ball Z Majin Buu. That's it, I'm going back to the gym. But first, let's continue with the video.
Il calore è una forma di energia. Allora, perché l'energia non si disperda, non evapori, ci vuole qualche cosa a tenerla insieme. Certo. Allora, se il fantasma è un aggregato di energia, come si usa dire di solito, ci deve essere un'entità fisica che lo tenga insieme, altrimenti mi evapora il fantasma. E quello che hanno scoperto è che non ci può essere niente che si opponga all'evaporazione. Quindi il fantasma, così come lo concepiamo, di concentrazione dell'energia, non può essere una realtà fisica.
Federico, ripeti tu.
It's something that I agree on. Anyway, and that's what exactly my cartoon self was trying to explain to you people. If there is nothing containing this energy, the energy will disperse itself at some point, right? Because there is no containment unit, nothing that can contain this energy. It will just disperse. And here Albertini is talking about physical energy, okay? Real energy that can be detected, that can be analyzed, and not the mumbo jumbo bollocks that the mediums say, like, I feel there is an energy. Okay, they are talking here, he's talking about physical, actual energy. He will do a demonstration of that in a moment.
Che cosa significa in pratica? Beh, facciamo un esempio. Allora, questo qui, come riconoscerai, è il fantasma.
And that's the demonstration. Casper the Ghost, let's call it.
La questione è questa: è un ectoplasma, è una concentrazione di energia che sta qui all'interno di questo palloncino.
Mi devo preoccupare? No.
Non ti devi preoccupare perché ci sono io a difendere. Sì, probabilmente faresti bene a preoccuparti. Allora, la questione è che hanno scoperto al CERN di Ginevra che questa sorta di palloncino che trattiene l'ectoplasma non può esistere. Quindi quello che succederebbe, te lo faccio vedere subito, ecco qua, è che in assenza del palloncino tutto quanto il contenuto verrebbe fuori.
Ma che
il
c'hai
nostro
messo?
bel fantasma,
Vabbè,
gelatina, tranquillo.
gelatina.
Il nostro bel fantasma, vedete, si espanderebbe ovunque,
certo.
in tutte quante le direzioni, e non potrebbe mantenere la sua identità. È per questo che è un fantasma. Si potrebbe produrre, magari, dicono i fisici, in un determinato istante, ma subito dopo evaporerebbe come nebbia al sole.
Exactly fine. Okay, the demonstration was a little bit messy and a little disgusting at some point. Please refrain from making stupid jokes. Okay? But it just shows us a sort of a possible simulation of what will actually happen here. And I do agree in that part. A ghost will manifest itself for an extremely brief moment, maybe a couple of seconds, and we're talking about post-mortem, of course, but it will dissipate almost instantly. To me, this is indeed a convincing argument. Then you make up your mind, guys. But to me, this is quite convincing.
E tutti quelli che li cercano, che ne facciamo?
Appunto, e questa è la cosa
Good
più
question.
singolare, che possiamo continuare ancora a credere che ci siano delle manifestazioni esoteriche che noi chiamiamo fantasmi, ma non è possibile fare Ghostbusters, prenderli a lazzo, oppure tentare di individuarli osservando che emettano o luce o calore o magari che spostino gli oggetti, perché nessuna entità fisica è in grado di
Ci
svolgere
siamo
questa
fatti
funzione.
due nemici fantasmi.
And absolutely, that's the bottom line. And that's something I totally agree on, guys, to be fair. That's something that many people like me and before me said multiple times. No matter what type of gadget you use, it won't be able to detect the spirit realm. No matter what you use. K2, spirit boxes, ramparts, and all this kind. And audio recorders, they won't be able to detect anything like that. Does this mean that all investigators should immediately stop searching for ghosts? No, absolutely not. As I said many times, I do encourage real research in the field, but expecting to have a ghost interacting with these instruments, for me, it's not possible. That's all I'm saying. Coming back to Pram-gate, guys, rewatch the video with this in mind. Rewatch that particular footage with that in mind, with the second law of thermodynamic very well understood now, hopefully. Do you still think that what we witness is a paranormal occurrence? Or do you think that micro vibrations and the force of gravity are the real culprit of this event? Let me know in the comment, guys. I don't know you guys, but I strongly believe that the correct answer anyway is the second. That was physics at its best. And that's my conclusion. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the explanation. Please support, of course, the Ouija brothers and all the real investigators out there. PNC Paranormal, Ghost on Trend, Real Evidence, and so on and so forth, because these guys, at least they're trying their best in order to find some sort of evidence. Anyway, guys, stay safe, stay cool, stay healthy, stay awesome the way you are, and I see you all the next time. Ciao!